Katty Konnie and Loudmouth Linda, keeping it real, no agenda. Satire, truth, and a whole lot of fun. Politics, crime, we get it all done. From breaking news to a joke or two, we do it our way just for you. We just can't make this stuff up. 1 year strong and we ain't gonna stop. Mic in hand, voices loud, shouting truth, making you proud.
Hello, hello, hello out there.
Hello. Who knows? Only the shadow knows.
I remember that.
I know, right? Boy, that's bringing back some old times.
Yeah,
Dark
definitely.
Shadows. Remember Dark Shadows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can still watch Twilight Zone on Pluto TV.
Oh, remember the Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Right. I know. Yeah, I was on a binge watching that for probably 3-4 weeks.
Do you remember Emergency?
Mm-hmm.
We were watching that the other day.
Were you?
And I thought, we really had no idea what TV was all about. Some of the stuff they did was so stupid. And we were all excited.
Right, exactly.
It's crazy.
I know, to watch some of those older shows, and it's like, come on. You know? And I mean, for the Brady Bunch, that was like 2 families merging as one.
Divorced. Oh,
They both died.
heard of.
Both of the parents died.
Oh, did they? I thought they were divorced. Oh,
No,
see, that's what I
back then. They had to have it, because they didn't have divorces back then. Well, they did, but not in TV land. Nobody got divorced in TV.
right.
Not in the 60s and 70s, at least.
They never had that in Leave It to Beaver.
Right.
No,
Right.
There was no single parents in the Leave It to Beaver world.
Or Father Knows Best.
Oh yeah, no.
Do you remember Hazel?
I do remember Hazel. Hello, KMM.
Hi, KMM.
We're taking a walk down memory lane, waiting for everyone to come in.
Right. Talking about old shows.
Remember 1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12. There's emergency. There's a cat in a tree.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes.
It's crazy.
Most definitely.
That is crazy. Well, I'm going to let you start off the night with your stuff because mine is kind of weird and I'm still trying to put it together. So,
okay, well, mine's just short and brief.
well,
The breaking news on Diddy's trial. Sorry, I was
thinking about it.
No, I was listening to something. Yeah, breaking news on the Diddy trial. That's where I was at. There will be no one to testify for the defense. All they're going to do is show videos and text messages, and then they're going to rest their case. Nobody is testifying at all. That was confirmed today. And the prosecution will rest tomorrow. And what they're going to do all day, I know, isn't that insane? What they're going to do, I don't know what they're going to do for the rest of the day tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday, because
no one wants to defend him.
Right, they're doing the closing arguments on Thursday, so they'll just go in on Friday to get their orders of what to do and what not to do and blah blah blah, and then they'll go out for deliberation. Oh, first, that's one of the things. I think tomorrow is Rule 29, and that is a motion to move for an acquittal.
Right. And they have to do that, I heard, so that you can get an appeal.
Yeah, they do. They have to do that. And that's up to the judge. So you know the judge isn't going to give him an acquittal. No way.
No way. No
Mm-mm.
way.
No.
I
No.
did hear that Diddy said, "Why are they showing my trial and putting it in the headlines and making it a big thing when the Iran controversy is going?"
He loves all the attention, and he's so narcissistic that he doesn't care. He's happy his name is in people's mouths.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I believe that.
But he's going to have a rude awakening because he thinks he's going to walk out them doors a free man.
Didn't they just throw a welcome home party for Diddy in the Bronx or something? The other night? Yeah, they
I
did.
didn't hear about that.
I heard that and I was like, "What? This isn't over yet. I didn't hear he even had a chance.
Right.
Let's throw him a party before it's even said."
Mm.
Some of this stuff is kind of shady, and if he gets out, I'm going to really be thinking something's up.
There's no way possible. Jurors couldn't even watch those videos. I mean, I can only imagine the filth that was in them.
I heard that, Donna. I heard that it is a ceasefire, but it's a ceasefire not for another 6 hours. But yeah, I heard that. But I got some things to say about that in just a minute. Go ahead.
There's just no way. There's no way they can't find him guilty. And I think the defense knows it.
Oh, yeah.
I think they know because all they were doing towards the end of the prosecuting witnesses, they were just stacking it so that they would have material for an appeal.
I think so. I think he's counting on that. But I did hear that he has spent up to today $22 million on attorney fees.
They only said 10.
Yeah, no, they said 22 million, and I'm like, and they're gonna arrest. They're not even gonna bring anyone up to defend him. Well, you know what? No one wants to defend him. When you're bad and you're guilty and everyone knows it, nobody wants to defend you. I'm sorry. That's just kind of the way it is. Just like everyone knows, there is no Santa Claus. Nobody's going to get on the stand and say, "I'm going to testify there's a Santa Claus." No one's going to get on the stand and say, "I'm going to testify that Diddy is a good man." Nobody could do it.
Right. No, he's not going to walk, Donna. Those jurors they're sick to death of those videos and they can't even watch them anymore. And why the defense was playing them for the last 2 days during their cross is beyond me. Why would you want those jurors to go out watching those videos? Are you stupid?
Well, okay, Cam, that is a really, really good point. But let me tell you something. Diddy, like all these rich people in Hollywood, don't have tangible money. They have to liquidate their stuff to be able to have that kind of money.
Right.
And from what I understand, Diddy has liquidated a lot, but his income right now is coming from the rental of his jet.
Right. And do you know that he holds $100 million in mortgages?
Wow.
$100 million in mortgages.
Wow.
He's trying to sell his mansion in LA. Well, it's a compound in LA. And he bought it for 39 million, and he's trying to sell it for 61. Don't nobody want your shit, Diddy. That house is taboo, man. I wouldn't want to live there. No way. Mm-mm.
No, I don't want to be I wouldn't want to even go see it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's stained, and it's tainted, and nobody wants to be there.
Yeah, it's tainted property.
Right? And he's tainted.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
But
He'll go down in history as being a demon, nasty, perverted.
Right.
Ugh.
No, I think he still has money because I don't think they've seized everything because they're still living in the houses and stuff. So they haven't seized everything yet. So,
Right.
go ahead and launder that money, Diddy, so that your family will be okay while you're away.
Right. For a long time. For your appeals, you're going to need to, you're going to have some money for your appeal.
Right.
And
Exactly.
would you hire the same attorneys that can't find anyone to defend?
Usually they don't. Usually when it's on an appeal, they hire new attorneys.
I would hope so, because they can't find anyone to defend him.
These attorneys did not do a defense whatsoever.
That's what I heard.
Not at all. In my opinion, they basically handed Diddy over to the juries.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, when you're guilty and it's all there, you're guilty. And
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not getting on the stand for himself for the kind of person he is, but he won't, because prosecution would tear him up. I'd love to see it, but he's not going to let us, the people, get to have that gratification.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Because he would just get up there and say it was domestic violence and I went through classes and blah, 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 blah. And it
And I'm
wasn't
so sorry.
she wanted to do it. And then today they were reading text messages from Diddy to KK. And apparently he had Jane in one hotel and he had Chelsea in another hotel.
Wow.
KK to keep them occupied.
Wow.
So what, was he off doing somebody else? Young Miami?
He was everywhere. The man was there doing, and he wasn't even doing. He was doing himself.
Once Jane left the house, Chelsea was to move in when Jane left the house. So it was shuffle one out and get the new one in.
Doing fresh meat. Oh.
And that's exactly what he was doing. That's exactly what he was going to do. It was going to be fresh meat. He was going to cut ties with her because she was too demanding.
Sick.
It's
sick.
It is.
It's
I
sick.
mean, it really, really is. And to have money thrown around like that, and they figured it out today, and I think I was pretty accurate. They said that a freak off night cost him $10,000 to $12,000.
What a waste of money. Give it to the homeless.
That's that's over $40,000, $40,000 to $48,000 a month. Some people don't even make that in a year.
Well, and that's not even counting all of the stuff they had to do to redecorate the rooms he was in. I don't get it. I don't.
I don't know. And then they said that he was in the side room before court one day last week, maybe, and they were getting ready to show some videos, and he was in a side room, and he said he wanted a little bit more time because he wanted to review the material. And when he came out of the side room, he was licking his lips and rinsing his hands, rubbing his hands. It's like, you sick pig. You probably were in there spewing.
He's dead demon. I'm sorry, just a demon.
Yeah.
He's a demon. Wow. Well, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's show to see exactly what the heck they did for a whole day of wasting taxpayer money.
Right. I mean, at this point, just do the closing arguments on Wednesday and call it a day.
Yeah. Or tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow they have to do the Rule 29.
Okay. Well, that takes a whole day.
Well, you got to make it, the judge has got to make it look like he thought about it.
I've been thinking about this overnight and forget it. we'll just move on. Um,
Oh, I bet this will go down in Judge's history. He'll never forget this case. We'll
no.
be talking about it for years to come.
Oh yeah, he's going to write a book. He'll be the next one to write a book. So you heard that Iran bombed our Qatar base, right? And Trump put out there, thank you so much for calling me and giving me a heads up that you were getting ready to do that so I could get everybody out of the way. Now, I don't know if he said that being facetious,
Right.
Because he called in Tehran for everyone to leave ahead of time, or if they really did call him and tell him.
Right.
And then it comes out that there's a ceasefire, right? There's a ceasefire. Now, let me ask you something. Today at the White House, they were putting up these things. They have a special name for them, but they're like missile sensors or whatever.
Detectors.
Yeah, that can, and they're putting them on top of the White House. Right. And I'm kind of thinking probably drone activity, right? Just in case.
Yeah.
If it's a ceasefire, why are we putting this up on the White House? And if it's a ceasefire, why do we have our B-2 bombers going back? They're still going back. And if it's a ceasefire, why? There's a lot of questions there.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I just feel it in my gut, and I hate to say it. I don't want to say it. I don't want to put it in the air, but I'm going to. I just really feel like this is like his 2.5 week thing. I'll make my decision in 2 weeks. Around 2 weeks. Maybe there will be a ceasefire. Maybe he thinks there'll be one in 2 weeks. But he said they had 6 hours. And you're talking, these Iran and Israel are enemies and have been for thousands of years. I guess he's done other things that were pretty big, but that just, there's a few holes in all of that.
Yeah.
Question.
Definitely.
Why are you sending our B-2 bombers over there if you're not planning on using them? Why? And when they said they were going to close, yeah, well, we'll see about that.
That can't happen. Until you make Iran a parking lot, that's not going to happen.
No, because they are horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, okay, so last night before I went to bed, I was doing my thing, and all of a sudden I started thinking, who is in bed with Iran, right? Who is Iran's friend other than Iran? And of course, Iraq, because they're forced to be. Well, Russia, because Iran supplies Russia with their drones. That's where Russia gets their drones, is from Iran, right? And you know what came in? Don't you think that this, after we did what we did, and as bad as these people are, and how they don't surrender. They don't surrender. He said there will never be a surrender. The Ayatollah said there will never be a surrender.
Right.
I will never surrender. All of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a ceasefire. I think Trump is saying that because he wants to put everyone's mind at ease.
Maybe. But he's not one to lie to the American people.
No. Maybe he hopes it will. I don't know. I know that you know what I found to be really interesting is that Hezbollah and the Mexican cartel are really, really close, tight knitted friends, very knitted friends. And that's always been our problem at the border is the cartel. So Hezbollah, come to find out, Hezbollah was the one that taught the cartel how to do their tunneling. Thank you, El Chapo. What, were you friends
Right.
with the Hezbollah people too? And they taught you how to, I mean, this is, so like Linda and I were talking, they're all probably in cahoots. Hezbollah, the cartel, Hamas, who else is there?
Mm-hmm.
All of them people. They're all like one big dark entity that are all hanging out together.
Yep. And they, you know, my feeling of this is Biden let all these people in, right?
Uh-huh.
Stop them, nothing. And I'm sure a whole lot of sleeper cells came in across that border.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if we get attacked from within, I
See,
think
that's what
Biden should be held responsible.
worries me. No, you're right, Cayman. They really don't have that many missiles or anything that could come over here and do what they did, which makes sense, right? But Iran has a huge army, a lot of people.
Most of the
That's
country.
you know, they were saying like if they said at one point, and this is when I was really, really young, before China was ever really a threat, before China was really, they said that the Chinese population, if you put them together holding hands, could circle the earth twice. I mean, that just, you think about that and you think, that's a lot of people. And then
How
they
is there
said,
that many people in that small little country?
it's loaded. It's like Mexico City has like 10 million people in just the city of Mexico. It's insane how many people they have. And Iran has a really huge army. So anything that they would do it boots on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
And infiltrate them into wherever they want them to be to do whatever it is they're going to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is my own personal opinion. I don't know those people very well.
Right.
But I'll tell you this. There's a country that is very good friends, and I had to look it up today because it came to my mind last night after trying to think who would be friends with Iran other than Russia
Right.
and China. China's good friends with Iran because that's how they go through that Strait of Hormuz all the time, shipping their Timu stuff to us.
Right.
But here's my thing. So China's good friends with them, and Russia's good friends with them, and of course Iraq. I don't know if they were basically saying, "Don't use our airspace. We don't want anything to do with you." I mean, we just would prefer if you're going to fight, don't fight over us in our airspace. I mean, they really didn't say much of anything. Turkey is friends with them. I had to look it up because last time I thought, I don't know any other country that's their friends. And then all of a sudden it was like, who is Turkey friends with? And I looked it up today. Turkey is good friends with Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Turkey and and you know what? And they said the Pakistan people, right? The Pakistan people are loaded with military stuff. That they're extremely intelligent and have a lot of military stuff, bombs and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, so here, all these guys are your friends. Come on, guys, let's put our brains together here. All these guys are your friends. North Korea, Russia, China, Turkey, Qatar, Iraq, Syria. All these are your friends, and you're just going to go, yep, nope, sorry, I surrender, I'm done.
Well, you know what I find so stupid is that the people from that area, from the Middle East, they come over here and they open gas stations and liquor stores and they get rich, and then they just have somebody else from the family come over and take it over. And it's and they're getting paid for the gas stations. They're getting paid to send the money back,
Yeah,
where the oil came from.
right.
How stupid are we?
Well, you know what? That's like I heard there was a comedian one time that said, you know what, the French said, hey, you know what? I bet you that we could just take our water out of the tap and put it in a bottle and America would buy it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I was buying my Fuji water, I got to thinking, this probably came out of somebody's kitchen sink, and here I am thinking it's the best for me. I mean, you know, they show this spring and this waterfall and all of this stuff, and make it all sound good, and it probably came from somebody's garden hose, and I'm thinking it's being great for me.
That's why I have Absol Pure service.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows, really? Who knows?
I will not touch our city water.
I won't drink our water here either because there's an oily substance in our water. I feel it, you know, when I wash my hands, and you can see it when I fill my sink up. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I won't drink our tap water, but I'm starting to think I'm drinking out of somebody's garden hose that they're putting a fancy
Yeah.
label on it,
Right.
you know? Okay, and another thing. Okay, now I'm throwing all this stuff out at you guys just to get you to think. All right, so what was the first thing everybody said when we bombed Iran? What was the first thing they said? Oh my God, watch the oil prices. Oil's going to go up tremendously. Our gas is going to skyrocket. I was one of them thinking exactly the same thing. Ran out, got my oil. I mean, it freaked me out. Today, the oil prices dropped and were lower than they have been.
That's
What?
funny because all the gas stations here, the prices went up 15 to 20 cents.
That's funny because the oil prices went down on the stock market.
See what I'm saying?
They play with us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so, you know, I heard a podcast where they said, well, they have these people that they call, I don't know, they had a certain name for them, that will throw money into the market to keep it down so that everyone thinks everything's okay. Is that a sham or what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all this, the hype that everybody, they were scared to death that somebody was, that we were going to be, that they were going to start doing their suicide bombers in our country, which I'm sorry, guys. I think that they could easy. Yeah. You know, see, there you go, Donna. This is it right here. This is it. And we have oil, and we can drill our own oil, and we can refine our own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking. I started looking at if there was a nuclear. I mean, I don't even know why somebody in their right mind would even look it up. But I was looking it up. Where would they? What places would they drop a nuclear bomb in the United States? And I thought, oh, New York, or we're in the top 3 where I'm at. We're in the top 3.
Military.
Well, I got the military. I've got the oil refineries. I've got all that stuff. I got the port. I got it all. You know, and I thought, well, you know what? This is what I got to say about that. At least I wouldn't die from fallout. I make the comment that if they're going to do it, then just make it land straight on me where I don't have to think about it again. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want any radiation or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it just, when you're afraid and you get to thinking about different things like that, this is where your mind goes.
Yeah. Sure
And,
does.
you know, and we can't live our life afraid.
Right.
We can't live thinking, oh my God, what if? Oh my God, what if? All we can do is put it in God's hands.
But I mean, can you see what the Democrats did? They made Americans live in fear, and we never have. We
Right.
never had to. I mean, it was like when you go out at night, be careful, watch your back. Now, who the hell wants to step outside the door when it's dark?
I know.
You
See,
don't know what's out there.
no, you don't know what's out there.
I mean, and it can even happen during the day.
Right.
You don't know. I don't.
We, when we were growing up, a child abduction was unheard of. It was unheard of. And if a child got kidnapped, we always knew that it was a disgruntled couple and either the mom or the dad took them and ran.
Usually, and they were on the milk cartons.
Yeah. But now my phone goes off all the time. All the time. That there's been another child abduction. Look where we've gone. Look, I mean, I almost want to say, I almost feel like we live in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yep. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, they did, Donna. They did. They spread panic through everyone.
Mhm.
And instead of saying, you know what will be, God will take care of us. And if it's not our time, I'm not saying, okay, look, I'm not saying that if somebody came to my door and they were packing, that I wouldn't defend myself. Now, I'm not saying that.
Right.
But I'm saying when it's out of our hands and it's bigger than us, and we've got to be able to just turn it over and lay it at the altar of God and say,
Right.
it's your will. It's
Right.
your will. It's too big for me.
Right.
It's insane.
It is.
So when I heard it's a ceasefire and they have 6 hours. I didn't hear. Did you guys hear this? I sure didn't hear it. Did you hear that Israel got bombed again last night?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it happened again last night. There's so much that we don't know and they're not telling us that's really going on in this situation. This whole thing is shady. It's just all of it makes no sense. Trump says that there was 14 missiles and only one hit. The other 13 were disengaged and were blown out of the sky or whatever. The guy that was at the base, that was the general, said, there was only 7. Was there 7? Was there 14? What is the real answer? What's going on here, guys?
1 is too many.
Well, you're right. 1 is too many. But just, I mean, there's so much out there. It's like you said in the Diddy trial, they said, who did they say just recently was going to get up and testify? And I thought, no, it's over. There's no more testifying. Oh, was it Justin Bieber or something was going to get up and
There's
testify?
nobody testifying. Nobody at all.
No.
There's
No.
nobody testifying.
And he has no defense. No one wants to get up and defend him. Can you imagine sitting there? Well, he deserves it. But can you imagine sitting there in court and you don't even have a friend that wants to get up and say you're a nice guy?
The only person is KK and D-Rock, and I can't, Rakeem or something like that, his security. Those 3 people, and everybody thinks that they're have an indictment sealed, that when this trial's over, out comes the indictments for those 3 people. I can't wait to see what the charges are. I think KK is going to get the same thing Diddy got. Sex trafficking, prostitution.
Right.
And I don't know if she can be in on the RICO, but she could be because she was helping him do this stuff.
Right.
She was getting the drugs and she was, when the girls would say, I don't want to do this no more. Your first mistake was ever to call KK. That was your first mistake.
Well, she's got a trial of her own she's going to have to go through, and that'll be interesting. No, Donna, you're right. Yeah, you always want to wait for after the action report, but I'm telling you right now, they're saying it's a ceasefire. I mean, no, he's never led us astray, right? He's never led us astray. And kind of funny how they said it was 6 hours for ceasefire. What is he going to do in that 6 hour period? Just saying, guys, I'm putting it
Right.
out there. I'm
Right.
putting it out there. I just think there's something else going on here, and it's going to come to fruition, in my opinion. I've been known to be wrong. I was wrong about No King's Day because I really expected it to be kick off a little bit more, but it wasn't good.
Right.
It wasn't good. Right? I don't know,
Good
Kim.
question.
Why isn't he getting out there and saying and holding a press conference and saying it's a ceasefire? I don't know. Maybe he's going to do after the 6 hours. He'll do a ceasefire.
Maybe he
None of
wants to
it.
make sure they do it.
Yeah, I don't know. And here's another thing. Why is the Doomsday plane all of a sudden flying all over everywhere too?
It's been flying all over for a while.
Well, if it's a ceasefire, it should be parked, right? We shouldn't
You
have to
think
worry
so?
about it.
Just doing practice runs.
I just think we
I
need
don't
to
know.
worry about July 4th. I don't know why. Is it because it's our Independence Day or I don't know.
Well, yeah, we
Right.
celebrate our flag, so
Yeah, I know. They want to
Let's
celebrate
go to
theirs too.
yeah, let's just go to the streets and burn them.
Right? Oh, if they do that, I'll be so mad. I will be so hopping mad. They won't even. Yeah, there you go, Donna. There you go. There you go. Hey, Whoopi! Diddy's not going to testify. They're going to arrest him tomorrow. According to Linda, it's over. And he has no defense. Nobody wants to defend him.
Nobody is doing the defense. All they're going to do is show more videos and text messages, and that's that. They're going to, show it, the way that, in my mind, okay, they've got text messages that these women are saying, "Oh, I can't wait for the freak off or the hotel night or whatever you want to call it." But you say whatever you have to.
Well,
And
see,
that's,
there
and
you
most
go.
people know that.
There you go, Sag. They're bombing. Okay, so Israel's bombing Iran right now, right? This is a tit for tat thing going on here.
Right.
Where's the ceasefire? I'm sorry. I just felt like that was a smokescreen when I heard it.
Right. Right. Hi,
Hey,
Sag.
hey, Whoopi, I want to tell you, Diddy's not going to testify. I'm so irritated about that. I wanted to see him get up on
Nobody is going to testify.
Nobody wants to defend him.
Nobody.
That's sad when you have no friends and nobody wants to get up and testify.
They don't want to be pulled in on it because they can get charges against them.
This is true.
If you ask me, I think that they're stupid and they want to show their loyalty to Diddy. Well, that's going to get you probably 10 to 20 for your loyalty. Congratulations.
Hey, said they are bombing Iran. They as in Israel or they as in us? Just curious. Because, it could be either or. USA took out the target of atomic bomb that is causing the ceasefire. We probably did, but I just don't see those guys surrendering.
We think that there's a sealed indictment for her, and that's why she's not testifying on his behalf. It's Israel, Seg said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the two of them have been back and forth for 1 billion years.
Right. Exactly.
I'm just glad it's not us. I mean, I'm sorry. I do believe that we need to defend Israel, but we did what we did, and now it's time for Israel to finish.
Yeah.
Unless it gets so bad they can't. And I don't think it'll get there because Israel's a pretty strong army. They can go up against them. The two of them, they can handle it.
Right.
KK's going to have charges of her own.
Yep.
Absolutely. She's going to be the Ghislaine Maxwell of the trial.
Yes, she is. She is. She's going to be. And I think the other two, the D-Rock, that was part of his security, and then the other one, Rakim, or I might be mixing his first name and his last name. I don't know. But it's one of those names that you just really can't pronounce. So
there's, I was thinking, see, I think too much. No wonder my head hurts. There's so much bad news and so much evil going on in our world right now. We're covered in it. We're covered in it.
right.
This one's doing this to this one. This one's doing that to that one. This one is I mean, you can get paid for doing anything. You can get paid $20 for wearing a free Diddy shirt.
Right.
It's everywhere. And it's just, if you look outside, if I could describe what I see a whooshing of nothing but black smoke all over everywhere. And I'm like,
Right.
the evil's everywhere.
Yeah, it is. It
And
is.
and this is, and I want to say this because if I don't, it's going to drive me insane. So I have to get it out there. When somebody gets up and they say, we Americans feel this way, I want to say, you American feel that way. Don't speak for me. Please don't speak for me. I'm tired of people speaking for me.
Well, the Democrats love to speak for us.
Right? I have a voice. God gave me a voice, and he probably wishes he wouldn't have, but he did.
Right.
And a very loud one at that. And, let me speak for myself. And if I'm wrong, okay, I'm wrong. I'll stand corrected. I'll stand corrected.
Right.
Because no one's perfect. There's not a human being on this earth that's perfect.
Who's that, Donna?
No, Pantera. That's Appalachian Homestead. No, I didn't see that she wigged out. I didn't. I know she's taken a lot of, guys, I go in to a lot of chat rooms. There's the people that I watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I fall into someone I've never seen before. But usually it's the same people. And then all of a sudden you start seeing these people going in and bashing them in their chats, and they're saying nasty, negative things, and they're like calling them names. Okay, where does it help the situation when you attack somebody's person?
Right.
I feel this way because this is the way I feel. But that doesn't make me an ugly fat pig.
Right.
Or any of that kind of stuff, or mentally depression, or any of that stuff, just because I feel the way I do. And this is what those people do. And I just think to myself, take a pill and go away. I'm sorry. And I'm apologizing all over the place for that, because there are people out there that really do need pills to cope with life.
Right.
But thank you, God, I'm not one of them.
Right.
And I feel the way I do. And that's the beauty of America. We're allowed to feel this way because we are this country of freedom. That's why they want to come here, because we have the freedom of speech, so that they can come in here and they can stand up on our platforms and spew the things that they do in their own country.
Right.
No other country's going to let you do that.
Right.
Wave their flag and say their stuff, and we're all okay with it because we have freedom of speech. All right, and I'm all about it. That's awesome. But don't shove your stuff down my throat, because I have freedom of speech too, and I have the freedom to believe the way I do too, because you know what? I live in America too, and I have the same rights as you do. Sorry, I got up on my pedestal a little bit too much there. It's time for me to go take an Alka-Seltzer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Really, I'm sorry. But when that person, and I'm not going to tell you the situation because it was really stupid, but when I watched the podcast and they were showing a video and they stood up and they said, "We Americans," and I thought, wait a minute, wait. Are you from America while you wear that thing on your head? Are you from America? Okay. Sorry, we don't wear those here. But if you're from America and your family has brought you up that way to wear the towel on your head or whatever it's called, the habib or whatever it is, and you're brought up that way, that's fine. But don't get up there and say, we Americans feel that if we don't stop the infidel and if we don't do this and if we don't do that, wait. You're not speaking for all of us.
Right.
You're speaking for you.
Right.
So change your word to, I as an American feel this way.
Right.
It would make things a lot easier for people to stomach.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's, everybody has their opinions.
Right.
And
Right.
I just hope that nobody that watches us thinks that we're speaking for all Americans.
I'm not speaking for all Americans at all. I'm not even close. I'm speaking for myself.
Right. And there are opinions.
Yeah. All over.
And everybody is allowed to have their own opinion.
They are. And I'm happy to hear everybody's opinion.
Right. Exactly.
I'll listen to it out. We can
talk about it.
We can talk about it. But don't force it down my throat and make me believe it.
Right.
That's why they say don't talk about politics and don't talk about religion, because because nobody can ever meet halfway. Mm-hmm. And if you notice, those are the two things that are headlined: politics and religion.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never meet together on all of that. We'll never meet together on all of that. The Democrats have their thing. Awesome. Good for them. I'm glad they're all together and they're all united and they get along. That's awesome.
Right.
But don't speak for me.
Right.
That's the beauty of America.
That's absolutely. It's like, I don't try to speak for other people. Don't speak for me.
Right. Right. There's two sides to every coin.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there wasn't, you would only have heads.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And can you imagine, they had a song way, way back. I'm going to really put your head in a tailspin. Let's see if Linda even remembers it. I'm getting ready to go beyond her time here. Do you remember that song that they taught us in elementary school? Hello. Hi.
Where's mine? Thank you.
There was a song and it was little boxes on the hillside, little boxes. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. Made of ticky-tacky little boxes on the hillside, and they all look just the same. There are doctors and there's lawyers and there's business executives, and they all live in those boxes and they all come out the same. In other words, everybody would be exactly the same, right? Everybody would go in and they would all come out exactly the same. And that's not our life.
Right.
Everything is different. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own faith, whatever they believe. And it's awesome.
Right.
And that's just the way I feel. And I ran off some people because I'm such a great singer. That's the reason I didn't get a Diddy album. I never got asked to be on a Diddy album. But yeah,
I'm sure he would have let you sign.
I don't think so. It's all right. I didn't want to sing because I knew I didn't.
And I'm sure he'd pay rent for your house.
Well, no, it's all right because you know what? I knew, there's just some things you can't do, and that's mine. And I'm okay with it. I I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but my brother could. He was like a walking jukebox, you know.
It'd be like maybe fool me once, but never again.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe. I
but
mean, I would be inclined to say if I walked in a room and saw what they set up in those rooms, I'd turn around and walk out. It's like, nope, not today, demon, not today.
not on my time. Wouldn't you question when you walk into a hotel room and there's plastic on the floors?
I thought about that with the entertainers. Like, do you tell them a heads up? Or we're going to feed you drugs and you're going to perform for 3 days and we're going to overdose you on Viagra and ecstasy. I
Right.
mean, what do you do? Oh, and one of the things that's funny because they paid one of the escorts and the escort service Diddy called the escort service
Right.
because they wanted another $600 because there was mess up in the books in the work. And Diddy laughed and he's like, you need to quit raising my rates. And he's like,
Didn't
I'm
he not
wrong.
pay someone?
Huh?
He didn't. One, he shorted, didn't he? Just wouldn't pay him.
Well, no, it was $600 short of what it should have been.
Right.
So they wanted payment from him, but he was complaining that they charge him too much anyway because he's a long-time member.
And this is a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Worried about $600.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, KMM? I'd run for the hills too.
Oh, the minute I
I'd
saw,
go so deep underground, he'd never find me.
well, I think the first thing that would come out of my mouth is, do we have plastic? Oh, I thought we were here to have a party. Are we having a painting party? Is that why there's plastic all over the floor? Are we planning on redecorating this room?
But here's the kicker. I don't think he used plastic. I think it was just towels and sheets.
Okay, well, if that's the case, I would still question what was going on there if there was all over the floor and everything. Wouldn't you? Why do you have sheets and towels all over the floor?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll tell you, I got to tell you what I think is the funniest thing, okay? This, I want to leave everybody laughing because, laughter is the healing of all things, right? So, one of Diddy's escort people wrote a book. And it's about erectile dysfunction. The Punisher.
Oh, and the $600 for the entertainer, Diddy said he couldn't even perform.
Yeah, how about that? And he wrote a book, and I know, right? They were swinging from the drapes and everything. That was a jungle scene going on there.
Yeah.
And he has and the Punisher has a book out, and you know what he named it? Frozen Meat.
The hell. All right, guys, it's that time. No, I hear babies screaming upstairs. And I don't know where their mom is.
I just, guys, I got to see a little bit more. I think we have just a little bit more to see before all of this stuff is over in Iran.
Right.
Yeah. I think we got a little bit more to go through. Not a whole lot, probably not very much at all. But something is going to come out of this. And Qatar was not it.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Yep.
Well, you all, look, Linda's trying to escape, and that would leave me here talking my head off by myself. Not that I couldn't
This
do
is about
that.
the time we usually sign off.
And not that I couldn't talk by myself. I mean, I could talk to myself. I've talked to myself for years.
Listen, honestly, I have to go to the bathroom, okay?
Okay, we got let's get that out there.
And the babies are screaming, but I do have to go to the bathroom. So, internet world, Nona's got to go potty.
Yeah. Not in Diddy's parties. You couldn't go party. Then you had to ask permission.
Right.
All right.
For
Y'all, we
watching.
love you very much. Very,
Love
very,
you.
very much. Press like on your way out the door. We will see you tomorrow night. Have a great rest of the
Absolutely.
night.
Good night. Stay safe.
Good night, guys.
From shady news to crime so rough, you already know we just can't make this stuff.